Hello and welcome to the third race of the Grand Prix Classics Championship hosted by Semi-Slick Racing. We are here at Silverstone in the British Grand Prix. You can tell the track is a little bit wet because the tires are intermediate, although it is drying up. What that's about, I will tell you in a bit. First, I would like to welcome you to this race. Into this beautiful championship if this is your first time here, because it is a wonderful championship, as we do see Gerald struggling with the grip levels on the track. We'll go to his teammate while we talk you through some things. So first of all, of course, let me refresh. Hang on, got some small technical difficulties. This is a quick fix, I promise. We can find the button. There we go, we got the calendar. We are in the third race, and in 2 weeks' time we'll have the next one. That's the German Grand Prix. 2 races in, third one about to start. Then the next question, of course, is where are we? What has actually happened? Well, I'll give you a very good idea. Let's have a look at the driver standings so far. Now, in the lead of the standings, without winning a single race, I do want to note, we've got the Crow for the Lotus F1 team, and he is here today. Where is he? Here he is, in the pits, but he is here today. He will be driving, and will be able to try and extend his lead. Closely followed by his teammate, that would be Domska. He is driving, there you go. See, the Lotus boys are ahead, and Domska is also the reigning champion, won last season. This season, again, up there, followed by Gerald Schmid, who's currently driving today, but in the pits, and Randers, who wasn't there last time, but did win the first race. Domska, of course, winning the second race, and Randers is currently in 4th place in the standings. Statue, Sorrow, Marcus VR, all here today as well, and they stand in that order in the championship. There's honestly not much between Randers and well, down to Dustin, who's also here today. 15 to 11 points. They are fighting for everything, but it doesn't tell the full story. Last time we saw Dustin be in the fight for the win, and it was an unfortunate netcode error that caused all of the issues. Cafalo currently in P10, a little bit of gap, but it's very early in the season, anything can happen, and he's aiming to go up that list. Next page, we've got JJ with a few points, Jordi, Silver, Domi, we've got PC Finch, who is now a permanent driver, now driving with the Sauber team. Runelink last time joined but couldn't finish, and apparently that's because he set the fuel wrong. He thought we were doing 40 minutes, not 40 laps. So that's what happened. Unfortunate for him. And hopefully next time he joins, he will better set up his fuel. Souza, who hopefully will not join us anymore. Notabene joined last time. Nolsey and Ben Summers, and then we have a few more drivers, all without points. Well, only Mercury, who's joining for the first time today. He's joining the Sauber team, permanent driver. And quick look at the team standings then. Of course, Lotus is in the lead. The both drivers, of course, 1-2. That's what you get. The Red Bull Racing team has got 29 points, close to its sister team, slightly ahead, and a Ferrari slightly behind the Toro Rosso team. Williams doesn't tell the full story that they are 5th because Randers was so strong the first race, and hopefully he'll be able to extend that strength today. HRT team with Toro gaining a lot of points for them. They've got Force India, Mercedes, tied on points, McLaren, and then Sauber, who now has a full team of drivers. All right, so back to the track, and it is a beauty today, the track, and definitely something that I think every racing driver loves, and every sim racing driver absolutely looks forward to every single season. Silverstone is a very unique track, I would say, an interesting challenge, because it is very high speed and simultaneously very, very technical. If we look at Sashi, who's driving it right now, he's also, let me also address the elephant in the room. They're driving on intermediate tires. The track starts wet. That's specifically the case, I think, for qualifying. I'm not entirely sure. Hang on, I should have checked this. I think it's only for qualifying, but I'll check some material that we have for this. Let's... it's somewhere. There's a lot of rooms to organize all of this. Quali is with a wet track, yes, but there will not be any rain. It just starts wet and the track will get progressively faster. And if you know anything about, well, racing, then you know exactly what's going to happen. The best laps will be set at the end, and it's all about being there when it matters. So, somebody, Ditto is asking actually in the chat, who's going to win? Well, that's the interesting part. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. We've got so many strong drivers. Last race, it was the reigning champion Domska who won. But it was a calculated fashion. Dominance, you would say, maybe. I think he had more pace, for sure. But he decided to do it strategically and did it beautifully. So, Domska, very, very strong driver. His teammate, currently in the lead of the championship, currently sideways in the pits. What is going on here? Is he... I think the game is glitched and I might need to restart the game. Remind me in a bit. If it's still like that in qualifying, we'll restart during qualifying. And luckily, this is the race I can do it because there's not on the wet track. So we'll work around that. I might. No, okay. I think we'll leave it, but I need to watch it. The crowd is also very strong, that's what I'm saying. Statue, also extremely fast driver. He has the world record on every single track that we're going to for this championship. I've said it after the first race and the second race, and I'll say it again. But his results haven't quite been there. So, is it all a deception? Who knows? Dustin last time was absolutely fighting for the win, and unfortunately, due to netcode, he got crashed out. We could see it live on stream, and yeah, it wasn't to be for him, but he's absolutely capable of setting strong performances and winning races. Sorrow got a shock podium for his first race. Last race, he wasn't all there. He said this race would be better for him. Said that during the press conference. So perhaps we'll see more of him today. And I'm noticing... Oh, Randers is here. Randers is P3 now. Of course, won the first race. Extremely quick driver. Could win the race. Gerald Schmidt, who just rejoined, I think, he is very fast. Last season, it was, in the end, a fight between Domska and Gerald. Now, Gerald, he didn't have the pace of Domska, but he did have consistency, and it really paid off by the end. When Domska started making mistakes, Gerald was still always up there and was nearly taking the title. Only the last race, when Domska did finish ahead, Domska could close that title without any issues. So, who's going to win? One of those, maybe someone completely different. We do have new people here. We've got it's Mercury from Norway, or Mercury as he will be in the graphics. He is currently driving an P13, as you can see. I've got a graphic for him. Driving for Sauber. And our first Norwegian driver. What do we expect of him? No idea. His time isn't anything to write home about. He's driving on wets, which I feel like it's no longer wet conditions, and the tires are all lying. So let's all ignore those tires. How quick is he going to be? Well, I don't know. But I do see, I think that's Marcus VR behind him, yes. Making an overtake, and yeah, it seems like Marcus VR is the quicker of them for right now. But of course we do not know what fuel loads either driver is running. Could be an entire deception, as is so often the case. I think Ditto is saying in the chat that Dustin might be getting a bit desperate. That is a thing. His pace is good, his points are not. He currently has one P3 behind his name, and I think a 12th place in the first race. Still got him a point, but in total he has 11. And, well, 2 races in, you do kind of want to be up there with the leaders if you want to go for the title. So I think today will be make or break for him if he can really fight in the front, maybe start catching the Crow and Domska. Then I think he feels comfortable fighting for the championship, and otherwise he just needs to, just need to get the best results he can. It's very, very tough, and that is also very good. I'm really happy to have my viewers in chat telling me things, because I forget things sometimes. Marcus VR, we didn't see much of him in the first race, but in the second race, specifically during qualifying, there's potential there. Marcus VR is also a factor. So, a lot of drivers that could be winning today. A bunch of drivers I haven't mentioned yet. We've got Michael. Michael is also a very strong driver, but just not fighting for the championship, as it seems. Doesn't quite have that pace, but he does have very good pace, and it's incredible that despite being such a well-rounded driver, he's fighting for like 7th or 8th. Like, we've got such a good grid. So Michael is I see a lot of lag, so hopefully that's not the case for everyone, but a little bit worrying. We've got Silver. Silver is, I think, less experienced than his teammate, and most of the drivers here still very capable of, driving this car consistently around a lap is hard enough, so he's doing a good enough job of that. This car in particular is very, how would you say, it can betray you. It can turn you around very quickly, very easily, without much input. But he's able to keep it on the road most of the time. Then we've got Domi, who doesn't quite have the pace. I feel like he's improving a little bit. In terms of consistency, it's hard to say. Truth be told, the front has been so exciting. I haven't seen so much behind the front. What happens around Michael is still interesting, because normally there's a battle around him. But yeah, not quite sure what to expect of Domi, but he is fighting his own fight. And I think he even has some points behind his name. So. Oh, and that's a big spin. It looked like an early activation of a DRS. And it can send your car spinning immediately. Big shame for him. We also got PC Finch. PC Finch again, not really driving for the front. He's fighting his own fights, trying to be consistent with this car. Trying to pick up some points where possible. And it's always good to have people like that in your championship well, especially if, like, PC Finch are really good about what do you call it, track discipline? Yeah, about being nice to your other drivers. If there's a blue flag, you let them go. You're always aware of your surroundings. You don't cause any issues. That is very welcome to have people like this. It's very refreshing, especially because they have so much opportunity to improve. It's great hot lapping, but it's even better to join a league, learn how to prepare for a race, how to conduct yourself in a race, and keep in mind that it's unlike open lobbies where you can join a race, it goes bad, great, you can go to the next race. But here, once the race starts, that's the race that you're doing, that's where you get points and nowhere else. You don't get a second shot. So you gotta approach your races differently. You gotta be more safe in a sense. So it's always good to join these things, and if you do want to join these things, if you like driving an AMS2 and you think you can keep a car on the track for 30 or so laps, then do join us in the chat. There should be, oh no, apparently that has broken. Should be a link to the Discord. It has been broken. It will be under the YouTube channel though, so do join me on YouTube. Find any video about any SSR session that we do, press conferences or races, there will be a link to the Discord there. So do join us. We'll be happy to have more people on the grid. We do have a grid of 15 people today, which is nothing to sneeze at. And we're expecting, I think, at least one more driver, maybe two. And I don't think the third one's coming. So that's kind of where we are at. We do have a reserve driver in that. Maserati EC is not joining yet. He will join during qualifying. Actually, according to Dustin, at the end of qualifying, he will probably not be able to set a lap time, which is unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. I do, in the interest of the stream, I want to check quickly. Is the crow still? Yep, okay, he's still doing what he's doing. And I need to see if that's still the case at the start of... Well, I might just switch around right now. Go out and go back in. Just so that we can get all of qualifying. So I'm going to do that. And hopefully that's going to fix the crow. And if it doesn't, then I'll just have to report it to the organization. So we will... I'll quickly hide the screen, because I need to exit and rejoin. And we're back. It seems to be... It's a good thing I talk to these people, because they tell me things and I can relay them. It seems to be a brand new bug has been found in Amos 2, where people can seem stuck in the pits and they don't, they don't appear to move very well. Apparently, it's not the first time he's seen it. Dustin, I asked, he told me about it. So hopefully that's the last time we'll see it today. And hopefully they fix it quickly. You see, immediately, this track is wet. All these drivers are on wet tires right now, and they will be likely on dry tires later. These laps at the start, they don't really matter, unfortunately. I do want to see, I think Dustin is furthest ahead, so he will be our example for what is a lap around Silverstone like. We'll do this also about 5 minutes before the end of the session, because Silverstone in the wet is tricky and definitely a different experience than in the dry. So we'll have a good look at the track 2 times. Where does the lap start? Now, you might think at the start finish line. Normally it does not. And this is, again, another one of those cases. Really, it starts kind of here. And it really starts here. You want a good exit out of this corner so you can carry a good amount of speed. Now, in the wet, it's very tough to get that right. We're essentially drifting through that corner, but there, Dustin gets it. He goes across the line into the first corner. This is basically flat out without any water, but with water on the track, you don't want to go too fast through there. Slow section of corners here. In the wet, you can see how squirrely it is. And once you get on the throttle, the rear just wants to slide out. You have to catch it. You have to correct it every time. Try to limit the throttle to where it can handle accelerating without sliding. Then through Brooklands, tricky corner in the best of days, but in on a wet track, especially difficult. Lovefield again. You're trying to kind of drift out of there, optimize the throttle, get the best traction you can, but there's not much. Coming up to Cobb's Corner then. Very famous fast corner in the wet. You do have to brake for it. Accelerate out of it as best as you can and drive up to Maggots and Beckett's. As you can see, a lot of sliding. It's not very comfortable, especially out of Beckett's. And here onto the Hanger straight, very long straight. There will be a lot of action here, particularly because of the corner after it, the Stowe corner. Very fast, very flowy, and extremely difficult in the wet. Easy to lose it here on exit, but Dustin's got it well under control. We've got the club chicane into the Vale corner, last turn of the track. Start finish line is here. He sets the first. Oh, it's actually right there. There you go. 144.19. That is the benchmark. That's a tough. You can see how tough the lap is. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not necessarily tough to beat. In fact, it will be beaten by a lot during the session because the track is going to dry up. There is no rain in the sky. There's a lot of water on the track, which will dry up procedurally over time. Domska and Gerald do not match it though. There is a 2-second difference. That is pretty big. Kavler also, but that looks like a mistake. Marcus also. Oh, you can see how much people are struggling. Let's have a look at Maserati then, who is joining us today. Wasn't here in practice, but here he is already in qualifying. Will get the chance to qualify. So very good to see that. And he is setting his first lap, I believe. There we go, 149.2. Now, these early shots, they don't really matter. Why? The track dries up, the track gets faster. Anytime you set now, you will be able to beat by the end of the session. At least that's what I'm thinking. But the question is, we only have 15 minutes. We only have 10 minutes left. 5 minutes have already passed. Is the track drying up? Well, of course it is, but not very fast, I think. It's not very sunny. If it's full clear sky, very sunny, then it's going to dry up quickly. I get the idea. It is supposed to be clear. It's just not drying up very quickly. Okay, so these laps might matter more than I thought it does since lap, actually. Despite the fact that the track is getting faster, nobody's been able to beat it. This is the first lap he set. This is actually a really strong lap. That's insane. That's crazy. Sorrow very close. 2/10 behind still. See, it's still very wet. Still a lot of correction on the wheel. If it's in the cockpit, see that wheel is not always turning left in the left corner, but actually he managed it quite well there. He's not sliding as much as Dustin did in that example lap, but yeah, he's got very well under control, and he's catching up to another car. Trying to improve, but it's going to be tough, and that's I think Domi letting him go there. And Randers, hello Randers, he has improved, but no, it's only by a 10th. It's less than a 10th. Oh, Dustin doesn't manage to improve. He actually spins. He will still have time, and the track should get faster. Sorrow also sliding around a lot, keeping the car barely under control. Now, the really interesting part about this is, yes, the track will be at its fastest at the end. So the last lap has so much pressure on it, people will start making mistakes. Actually, we have Blester here today. Oh, I wasn't expecting Blester here. What car is he in? That is a HRT. Okay, we're putting him in an HRT. So he's spinning. I feel bad for him. If you weren't prepared for the conditions, that's going to be a tough one. But yeah, we've got Blester here today. Very nice, very good to see. And Dustin letting some people go. Sorrow in the pits, didn't manage to improve. What is Dikra doing? 7 minutes 44 seconds left to go. The track, I mean, we know it's drying up because that's how the track works. That's what happens when the cars drive around it, and there's a lot of cars driving. Nobody's just waiting. But it's not drying up very fast at all. Dustin's time has only been beaten by one person, and it's not that big of an improvement. Domska has now improved to 3rd place. But that's like 5 minutes after the first lap was set. This track should be quicker, but it's not. Don't let your brain deceive your eyes. The Crow has now improved, but again, you would expect us to be like a second quicker by now. You would expect Dustin's time to be a second out, but it's not. Dustin has had an incredible lap, and I think he's going to try and improve that on a track that is better. By all measures, this track should be getting better, but it's not showing. It's hiding this very well. Ooh, the statue has now also improved. The statue is now actually setting the pace. This is 7/10 faster. That is what we expected to see. Statue with a very, very strong lap. And what is Dustin going to do? I think he is probably on an improvement, or he's setting up for one. So let's look on board. I do want to follow him around again. We know exactly how he's driven the first lap, and he's done it very, very well. Can he do it again? This was not an improvement, but now he's starting a new lap. This one is definitely for all the marbles. I say all the marbles. There might not be pole position time yet. It will still have time to improve after this. First a few corners. It looks so much more stable, as you can tell. As much as it's very obvious. It's still squirrely. You can still see he's correcting a lot, but it's not as much counter steer. We'll go through Brooklands. If we look on the cockpit, very stable on the wheel. There's not any correction. I didn't see a single correction there. So it looks like you have so much more control over the car now. Dustin will be on for a big improvement. Market VR goes to second place. Very, very good time from him. That also looks so much more stable. Dustin surely is on a big improvement here. How big is it going to be? Randus takes that second place. And now JJ, hello JJ, this was not expected, sends it into first place. That is I'm very happy to see that. JJ's got a lot of qualities, struggling to show it, but he has now. Is Dustin going to ruin it? You see a lot of people in the pits, but they do need to go out. There will be time to improve on a track that is ever improving. And is there a gamble on slicks? I think now if you look at the track, it's still a bit, it looks damp at least, probably wet. Is Dustin going to improve? Yes, he does. And oh my god, that is 3 seconds ahead of everyone else. It looked like a very strong lap, and it definitely is. Dustin, provisional pole, and is anybody actually going to beat that, despite the fact that people should? This is incredible. His teammate is not able to match it either. This is incredible what we are seeing here. Further down, well, I would love to see the battle for pole position, but 3 seconds, I mean, that is a big step. Maybe he just has so much more confidence with this car than everybody else. Domska, no, actually, Domska takes another 3 seconds off of that. Domska with an incredible update to what the fastest time is now. 3 minutes remain, excuse me. And this is wide open. The track is now getting faster. What we've promised would happen for a while is now actually happening. And now people going out on slicks. The Crow improves again. 1.7 seconds down again. All of the time set so far essentially worthless. 4 seconds behind. That's going to land you 10th, Dustin. Dustin needs to improve. It took a long time. It took so long that I was doubting the track would actually get to this stage, but it is now. And you can see it is a mad dash. Dustin improved his time again, but he's going to have to keep going. Oh, he actually goes back into the pits. I think he's quickly going to put on slicks, and then he's going to go out again. The Crow, still P1. But Michael with a really big improvement. He's currently in P4. I'm updating it on my list because I want to show you the grid in a moment. Unfortunately, I need to redo it in a moment anyway, so I'm going to ignore it. I'm just going to enjoy this qualifying session. The Crow is not going to be able to improve unless he goes out right now. Yes, okay, he might have one shot and only one shot. He will have the best possible track if he makes it. But that's a big if. Cavalo improves. Still slightly behind the Crow, and that's it for Cavalo. Cavalo is going to start second at best if nobody else improves. But I've got a feeling we're looking at Dustin here, who's had a great command of the conditions the whole way through. When the track was super wet, when the track was getting much quicker, he was the first one to set a really strong lap time. That wasn't really improved by other people, mind you. But he's got a very good command over this track in these changeable conditions. Now, what else is interesting? The fight in the back, you can see PC Finch is struggling with this because it's not easy. And Domi is 150s now. He's probably going to improve that with another lap. And we see Sorrow actually puts it in P2, and he has time for another lap. Very critical. He's going to try and improve that again. going to sit on board with Dustin, and I've sat on board with Dustin a lot this session, but for a very good reason, I think you can understand. And he's really preparing for this lap. He wants the best of these conditions. He wants to delay it just a little bit to make sure there's nobody behind him that can stop him. Sorrow is still improving, Statue is still improving, and where is the Crow? Okay, he does get to start his lap. He might have some of the best conditions, and Dustin is behind him. Dustin is going to have even better conditions, in theory. So, what is going to happen? Where is Marcus VR, for example? So many people are going to set a new lap. That list on the left, completely ignore it the way it is now. It's going to be completely different. But Marcus VR currently in second place. He's going to try and improve. And the Statue is actually going to be one of the first to finish their lap. Currently at 132.9. Is that going to be enough? Is there much to improve there? Because that's already a pretty good dry lap. But this is the world record holder. Is he going to pull something out? And is anybody going to be able to improve that? Silver takes pole position. A Statue beats it by a second. Silver briefly stood on top, but Statue now has it. Then we've got Marcus driving. We're going to follow Marcus because I know he's ahead of the likes of the Crow and of the likes of Dustin. He's going to finish the lap first. So many things happening. I will not be able to keep up. I hope you understand. So, what is going to happen? Sorrow is currently in P2. Has he? Yeah, he has finished. Marcus VR still driving. Silver has finished. Sorrow puts himself in between Silver and Statue. 2 tenths behind Statue, I think, is nothing to sneeze on. What is Marcus going to do? Is he going to improve on any of that? Randers is. Randers takes pole position for now. That is anything but permanent. Marcus does also improve up to P2. Then we got the Crow. The Crow takes pole position for now. And where is Dustin? Dustin improves to third place. It is not enough for Dustin by being on top the whole time. He doesn't make it in the end. Who is still driving? He is not driving. I have Domska has set the fastest lap. Domska has pole position on the death of the session. The last man to finish his lap takes a pole position along with his teammate right next to him. I'm gonna have to take a second here to process exactly what happened. Cafalor P4 is insane. Very good to see that he is well, he got such a good lap in. Statue kind of finished too early because he's all the way down to 7th. 8th is Sorrow. Gerald Schmidt all the way down in P9. He imagined differently as well. Silver in P10. I think it will be satisfied with that because he's ahead of JJ. He's ahead of Michael. And who else is he ahead of? Mercury on his first outing is, I mean, yeah, that's the tough grid to go against. But you are 13th. Not on the points yet, but you are 13th. Good start. Then we've got Dummy. We got Blester behind that. And then we've got Maserati and PC Finch. Okay, we've got the whole grid. Okay, we've got the whole grid. That is incredible. What an incredible qualifying session. All right, calm down a little bit. I'm going to take a quick drink and then we're going to walk through this grid to what is actually standing here. We'll have a look. So, this starting grid, it's the craziest qualifying session with a relatively normal starting grid. That's always the way it is. These guys are good for a reason. Like, they win championships and races for a reason. They're actually just really good and consistent. So, Domska takes pole position, reigning champion in the death of decision. He had the best at the track. He timed his lap very well and takes a very deserved pole position. Very well done for him. Despite his first sector, apparently not being as good as his teammate. Teammate does line up second, the Crow. Very nice of him. And then we have Randers in P3, winner of the first race. Maybe he can add another one from there. Cafalo in P4 will be happy with that, but it's going to struggle holding on to that because behind him is Dustin, who is very fast. Marcus, who's very fast. Then we have Statue, Sorrow, and then Gerald Schmidt, all very, very fast driver. Silver, also very good from him to be in P10. And then the rest of the grid, we have JJ in P11, then Michael. Mercury in his first out in P13, will be very happy with that. Then we've got Domi, we've got Blester, Maserati, and PC Finch in P17. It's a pretty full grid. And yeah, hopefully a race that's half as exciting at least as the qualifying, and I cannot tell you why the camera is doing this. It's nodding along with some music that I cannot hear. So, what's gonna happen? What is going to happen in this race? Is Domska gonna run away with it? Is he? Is Randa's gonna move up? Are we gonna have fights? I think we're gonna have fights. Because the Crow is also really fast. He's championship leader for a reason. I think I saw yep, I see some DRSs open and close. I'm not sure what that is. But it's funny. Yeah, I hope you're excited. Quickly put your last predictions for who's going to win the chat. Do it quickly, because we're about to start. Okay, Domska has a decent launch. We cannot see what's going on next to him, unfortunately. And Dikra, I think, also has a decent launch. It's 1-2 for the Lotus guys, and they're way ahead of everyone else. Randers loses the position to Dustin, but immediately takes it back. These two are immediately fighting. The Crow is also very, very close. Oh, and Randers goes very wide there. A lot of people going through that corner, but it seems fairly clean. No big crashes yet. Oh, the Crow is very, very close. He's not going to wait. He's going to go straight before Brooklands. I hope we don't get a 2021 situation. But on the inside goes the Crow, and he overtakes. Very, very good. Does he stay ahead, though? Divkop's corner coming up. Normally, you do not go for a move there. It is simply way too dangerous. Is he going to be able to stay ahead? Domska is looking on the inside. You don't go for a move here, Domska. And he doesn't. He thinks better of it. Lets the Crow go. Just lose a little bit of time, though. Will not be happy with that. And Randers is right behind. Don't lose focus of him, for sure. And Dustin is also right behind. This is actually just a very close race. And you see Capflo has dropped off a couple of places. But P6 is still very good for him if he can hold on to that. It's actually right behind him, his teammate. And so a drop back. No, he actually started 8, so he's exactly where he started. Also impressive. I think Silva has had an incident. He's quite far back, and Michael is also quite far back. So these two have had a shocking start. They'll have to fight themselves back into relevance. But you can see this top 4, Linus, Stern. These are not letting go of each other for a little while, I think. Although the Crow is trying to shape up for running away from the 3 drivers behind him. All 3 of whom are major threats. This is straight up a race already where we have 4 people that can, in very normal circumstances, win this race. And often we do see a lot of action at Silverstone. It is a track where you can overtake. But there's also a bunch of places where you cannot. Dustin is taking it easy on the exits. There will be tyre strategies here as well. Silverstone is, despite being normally relatively low downforce, relatively high speed, it's still very tough on the tyres, and one of the reasons we're coming up to is Maggots and Beckett's. Dustin is letting go of this group a little bit. Randers is 3rd place, but within a second of the leader. Well, he was for a moment. Oh, and a bit of a mistake there. The dirty air getting to Dustin. Lose a bit of time doing that. 2 seconds off of the Crow, who's leading this race. Max VR is very close behind Dustin. That is definitely something to be looking at. And there is a bit of a battle here between Maserati and JJ. Maserati on the inside of the club chicane is what we're looking at here. Turns to the outside for the next one. Ooh, he actually has to worry about Blester behind, who is right there. Blester actually on the inside for turn 1. Maserati's not going to let it happen. Goes defensive, double defensive. That's fine, because he moved back to the racing line. Very good racing from these guys. And this is for, like, what, 10th? Maserati is still defending against Blester here. Instead of having to keep a look. Oh, actually, Marcus just goes past Dustin. Dustin being demoted to 5th place. Marcus taking a beautiful 4th place for himself so far. Satchio has now also made his way past Cafalor. There are so many things going on. Maserati is still fighting with Blester. These two are actually putting up a bit of a show. I want to look at this. Blester is still very, very close behind. You're not going to do it into cops, right? I'm not secretly hoping. I really don't think they should. Oh, that's a big mistake from JJ. JJ, falls back quite a lot. I think he's okay to keep going. That's very good to see. As these two still line astern, very close behind each other. And Domska is very, very close behind his teammate. Also, main rival. It's a nice thing about F1. Even if your teammates, you're allowed to battle each other. Because, while in some ways it is absolutely a team sport, in so many ways it absolutely isn't. These two are fighting for a Drivers' Championship. The Lotus team being ahead of the Constructors is very good. Well, it's a big mistake from Domska, and he's not going to get a chance anytime soon. He doesn't catch up quickly. It's decent control still, and we do have, I think, 2 retirements already. Don't know which order, but I see PC Finch has disappeared from the list. I'll have to update our things, and JJ does need to repair. I think he had some damage from that incident we saw. Maybe hit the wall a little bit. If he then gets suspension damage, it can be very nasty, even if it's very little. So, have to repair. Now, let's see, who are we missing? Still got Blester, thankfully. Maserati AC is still driving. Domi's still driving. New guy, Mercury still. I think we lost Silver, unfortunately. Those two have retired. I don't know which order they have retired, but those two we are missing. Haven't made it past the opening stages of the race. We're 4 laps in. And the Lotus drivers have run away with this race. They're working together seemingly. And Domska, well, I hope we're not going to see a repeat of Canada, is all I'm saying. Canada was fairly easy to do that, to be fair. Here it's not as easy. We do see another retirement, I think. Oh, it's not JJ. We've lost. Still have Domi. He's fighting with Mercury. Oh, and there's a crash. Mercury has been touched, I think, by Domi. And it was through the final chicane. He's still driving, hopefully no damage for him. Domska is absolutely threatening his teammate, but I don't think he's going to make a move anytime soon. And as I also noticed, oh, I think there's a fight going on between Dustin and Marcus again. You'd think they buried the hatchet by now, but no, they're actively fighting. This is a war zone. Statue is catching these guys, I believe, so gotta be careful with that. And I think Geralt is the next retirement. Geralt Schmidt, that's very unfortunate. Definitely one of the quicker guys, so sad to lose him. Let's see, are there any good fights behind the top? But we do have Sorrow kind of close to Cafalor. We have otherwise, Blester and Maserati. They're still going at it. This is a proper fight where Blester does have DRS. Maserati is actively defending this. He's not gonna let this go easily. Maserati is on for points, to be fair. 12th place is 1 point. They got Domi currently in 11th. He's on for 2 points. Blester is on for 3. Maserati for 4, and so on. Until 2nd place, where you get 12, and 1st place, where you get 15. A couple of bonus points there. On the inside then, are you gonna do it? Ooh, that's one of those corners where you can't really, but he was looking. It's really nice to see that despite the fact that these guys are not fighting for too much, unlike these guys, they are fighting so cleanly, doing such a good job. These two are so close to each other, and we're looking at, well, you're not gonna overtake here, surely. You do not overtake here, right? No, he doesn't. You do not overtake there. It's insane how often it's been threatened that we're going to overtake a cops, but you cannot do that. So he doesn't. He understands that. And while it will be very good for clicks to have both Lotus drivers take each other out, I think it will be undesirable for the championship. They are, of course, straight up fighting in the championship as well. Sorrow looking around the outside of Kavlo. Oh, and he does that. That is a wonderful move there, and he holds on perfectly. Is that going to be a counter-attack from Kavlo? Oh, he lets it be. Sorrow with a beautiful move around the outside. Takes that position. Very good to see. I think we've... Oh, no. I think we've lost Blester. Fortunately, that's our next retirement. Blester was on for good points, fighting with Maserati, and unfortunately has now retired. That's unfortunately. Gerald Smith was apparently disconnected. So, very unfortunate. Like the lag spikes that we saw last time with Dustin. Disconnections are also one of those things that the game can throw at you. It's really unfortunate. So, hopefully better luck next time. It's not that much different than a mechanical retirement in a race. Like a real race where your engine blows up. Like a suspension failure. You can make something up. Electronical errors and the team comes over the radio. You gotta retire the car. And you find out after why. Oh, we do see. I think that's Dommy crabbing and he's going on the grass just to avoid hitting anyone. He must have had a really big incident. Domska, you're on the inside. Normally this doesn't work, and the reason that doesn't work is because the next corner, you're on the outside. Yeah, and the Crow can lock you out. The Crow has now done that. It's very possible that Domska was just testing things. He wasn't really fighting for that position. He was looking just to see if he could. Domska is a very shrewd opponent. Not one of those people that will do whatever feels right. Will do whatever he genuinely believes he should do to win this race at the end. It was an important theme last race where the only position that matters is where you are after the last lap. Around the outside of Brooklands then, that's not a move, right? But it is if you can stick it around there. But he doesn't, but he does actually because the Crow is wide and now Domska on the inside. I believe he has the position. He goes past. No, it's side by side. Nah, not in cops, guys. Come on. Not in cops. Come on. The Crow is slightly behind. It's okay because the person on the outside being behind, he can choose exactly where to put that car. You can see his opponent, so it's not as dangerous. And that is Domska in the lead of the race. I say that, the Crow does have DRS, he's actually faster, he's ahead again. It switched around so quickly. And I think we are looking at a little bit of a setup difference between these two drivers. I feel like the Crow is slightly better on the straights. And Domska slightly better in the corners. Crow back in the lead. Marcus VR has overtaken Randers in all of this. He's currently in P3, fighting for his first ever podium. I say that, I'm not actually sure if it's first ever podium in the league. Hopefully today he gets one. Regardless, I think he deserves it. Fighting Randers and winning is definitely a flex, as the kids say. What's going on ahead then? We've got Domska still behind. He is having looks here and there, but not this lap. Choosing peace for now. It might have been an attempt for Domska to overtake and run away earlier. That might be what we were looking at. But it appears that's not the case. And equally, the Crow is also not able to run away. Slipstream is helping too much. DRS is also helping a lot. If anything, I think you'd have to guess that the Crow is faster. Oh, and actually, there's a lot going on. And Marcus has just been overtaken. And Marcus goes into the pits. Marcus is the first one to blink. He goes into the pits. Very early. And Domska is also in the pits. I say very early. Apparently it's maybe the right thing to do. That is an undercut that Domska is trying to pull. With these cars, there is no refueling. The car gets lighter over time. And you see a lot of people are taking it to the pits. We've got Domska, Marcus, Cavalo, Soro. All those drivers taking their first stop around lap 10. And look when Domska comes out. Look what's ahead of him. Absolutely nothing. Domska has a very good chance to take the lead of the race after the Crow makes his stop. Now, when is the Crow going to make a stop? Is going to go for 2 stops, which seems to be what the other drivers are doing. He keeps... no, sorry, that's the wrong pit lane, I think. Yes, that was the wrong pit lane. He's going through Mackett and Beckett's now. Dustin, very close behind Randers. These two, we're also going to have to figure something out. Because Marcus is probably going to be ahead of them after they make their stops. If they make the stops right now. What's Dustin going to do? He's going to overtake for one. What's Randers going to do? Is he going into the pits? Is he going opposite? It's actually kind of an advantage to be behind right there. Because you get to choose if you go same or opposite. Randers does the same. The Crow also into the pits. Everybody's into the pits. And then we look at the leader of the race. Well, former, maybe current. Where is the Crow? The Crow is still standing still. Domska is driving past the pit lane. And I think he's ahead. Domska takes the lead of this race. And that is a proper lead. The Crow is behind. The gap is not that big. Marcus VR emerges in third after pit stops. And the gap to Dustin is more substantial than it has been. But still not very big. Satchu currently in P6. He's got about 3 to 4 seconds to make up to the drivers ahead. Soro in P7 after all of that. Cavalo in P8. Maserati in P9. He will be very satisfied with that so far. There still is a lot of race left to go. We're on 4 points in the first race as well so far. JJ in 12th and Domi in 13th currently. Struggling a lot. We saw him crabbing earlier on the grass. But still in. Always good to see. What else is happening around the track? Well, currently, we're looking at 2 fights. One is for the leader, one is for P3. And in fact, I think this one is the most interesting because Dustin just caught a lot, but so did the Crow. The Crow is also very, very close to Domska, and we got another retirement just. Domi decided to call it quits after a very rotten start to his race, admittedly. And well, hopefully decides to join the stream and watch instead. 2 very interesting fights. Everything is for a substantial amount of points. In fact, everybody that finishes now will get points. Like, even if they don't finish, they will get a point. At least. It's absolutely worth finishing, of course. You're driving Silverstone. This is recreational. This is fun. This is fast. Dustin is fast. On the straight, on the inside of Brooklands. It's barely even the inside. He's already ahead. Marcus is behind. Gonna have to defend against Randers, who has also, well, straight up caught up. There wasn't much fighting between these two. Marcus doesn't quite have the pace on the tires he's currently on. Is he on hards with the other two on mediums? Are the other two on softs? These are options that they have. But it's impossible for me to find out what it is, because unfortunately, Reza doesn't really update the broadcasting view. We cannot see the tires that people are on. It's with DRS then, but it's a bit of a DRS train, as you can see. Marcus also has DRS, and he's very fast. Marcus, oh, he's looking on the inside, but there's not a move there. Seems to have set it up for low downforce. A little bit faster on the straights, struggling a little bit more on the corners. And that's an opportunity for Randers to maybe take advantage. It's going to be a tough one, because turn 1 is not normally a place where you want to be side by side. Is he going to make a move? He's looking. Ooh, that's a dodgy way to cancel it, but he did cancel it. He kind of had to. I do say, oh, the Crow has overtaken Domska as I was watching all of that. These two have switched positions again, but it's not over. Don't worry, you haven't missed the whole fight. On the inside, and Domska through Brooklands, through left field. The Crow will get the inside. Is he still there? He is still there. Side by side, these two. Oh, it's going to be tricky. Hopefully they don't crash each other out. You see, Domska is so much faster on the straights. Out of that corner at least. But then the Crow pulls back. Side by side through cops. Through cops, side by side. What are we doing, Domska? Oh, he managed to stick it around Maggots. Oh, but through Baggots. There the Crow goes. Has a much better line. He is ahead. He doesn't have DRS. Domska does. He has a very, very strong exit. And I think that's done and dusted for now. But absolutely not the end of this race. These two are going to keep fighting. They have the same exact pace. They seem to be on the same exact tires. Domska regains the lead. What else have we got? We've got Marcus looking at Randers. Randers ahead of him now. All the fights aren't really shaping up so far. But I would urge you to pay attention to Michael and Maserati. There's every chance that Michael manages to catch up a little bit. Maybe Maserati's faster than I remember. The Crow with DRS. It's... I wanted to say it's not enough, but there you go, side by side. He is in the lead. Straight up overtake. I was looking at that. I was like, that's not a move. No, it is. He's making it one. These two are fighting a lot. I do want you to pay attention to the gap to Dustin. And they also need to pay attention to that. They cannot afford to let that drop too much. They're fighting a lot for two drivers that are not after their first, the last pit stop yet. They've done that first. But there should be another one in about 6 laps. They're fighting a lot. And if I were the team boss, I would be very worried about their tires. Every time you enter these fights, you do open yourself up to more and more mistakes. Some could include a crash between your drivers. Not ideal. Absolutely not. But you also stretch out your tires, but you can see kind of the effect on Domska there. So him slide around. He's now a second behind. That might be the kind of piece that the Crow needs. The Crow might be better on his tires right now. Domska has lost it quite a bit. Dustin is 4 seconds behind though. The Lotus drivers do have significant pace advantage here. Dustin currently in a very respectable 3rd place. And this is, I have to say, a similar image to what we saw last race. 2 Lotus drivers ahead with Dustin. The last race he was properly in the fight and now he's just lurking. He's absolutely not out of it yet. If these guys keep battling for 1, make any mistakes for 2, which is more likely when you're battling, or even crash each other out, Dustin is right there. Dustin is the first one to benefit. Maserati has dropped to the back. Just checking if he's alright. Doesn't seem to be that bad, but he's fighting with JJ. He's genuinely just fighting with JJ. Okay. That's what it means. Maserati has actually lost a lot of positions. He was ahead of Michael earlier, remember? But he's made a mistake and it's cost him a lot. Dustin, definitely also want to watch. As the... Oh, JJ... JJ's... Sorry. These two are fighting. Thought the fight had reached a peaceful resolution, but they definitely haven't. This is a fight technically for last place, but there's also points on the line here. 11th place is 2 points, and 12th is 1 point. So finishing ahead, you get 1 extra point to the other guy. So as I see now, it seems to have gained back control over that position. JJ still tries to give chase, but seemingly to no avail. So giving chase. Statue to Randers. Randers has lost a lot of time to Marcus. That statue is a threat to him. Getting closer with DRS, but it seems to... Oh, I thought it was not enough. It's not enough. Looking for a move to the inside. But to no avail. Seems to be a fairly peaceful grid right now. We are looking at Statue chasing down Randers. That is the most direct battle right now. Seems like Donska has spent his tires. He's now about 2 seconds behind the Crow. He's maintaining it, and that's very important. But he was much closer earlier, and I feel like the reason things have changed that much is simply because of how he has used his tires. Bit of a mistake from Statue going off track there. Slowly trying to catch up through Maggots and Beckett. It's very, very difficult. But if you get a good exit out of Beckett's and you get DRS, it's very possible. Hangar Straight is the place you want to overtake. On the inside then, he's got overspeed. Randers is hopeless to defend this. He would need to cut back somehow through in the club chicane. That's not going to be a thing that he's going to do. JJ pulls into pitch. You can see on your right side of the screen there. Changing his tires for the last time. Try to undercut Maserati. Interesting undercut to try there. Runners trying to fight back a little bit. Surprisingly close still. Statue has marched towards and now past him. Expect Statue to be able to run away with it. Ooh, there's not great traction out of that. You see, while he has DRS, lost a lot of time there. There will be no move for him here. He does get very, very close. The DRS is super effective. It gets you a lot of top speed. Very, very close behind. A little bit too much curb, and you see how much he loses there. Not the exit speed. DRS does make up all of it, but he could have gotten past if he had similar exit speed to Statue there. Tough thing about Maggots and Beckers, the dirty air does really harm you there. And we do see Donska and Dustin both pull into the pits. course, very critical for Domska. The Crow will now have to also think about pitting. This will be the last stops for Dustin and Domska. Wherever they come out, that's where they fight from. We also see Cavalo go into the pits. Early stop for him, trying to undercut. Cavalo actually has a very good position to undercut because he's not going to lose anything. The Crow has to push. Statue has now shaken himself loose, and I think, maybe slight miscalculation from Domska. He does come out behind Randers. Should be faster than Randers, but it's going to slow him down through the corners particularly. 15.2 is the gap now. What's it going to be when the Crow pulls into the pits? I will also say that the gap is not 100% accurate. Only over a full lap can you really tell if it's somebody catches up or not. The Crow then, is he immediately going to respond? Is he going to stop this undercut exactly where it starts? Is he going to keep going? He stops it immediately. Goes in the pits. Marcus VR a little bit behind, so I expect him to do roughly the same thing. Oh no, he keeps going. Interesting. Dustin's going to gain a little bit of time on him, normally. Where is Domska, though? This is interesting for the lead of the race. Crow is still in the pits. He's standing still. Domska is still not through the last corner. It appears, Marcus Vial takes the lead of the race. He is your new race leader. Statue follows right behind, but then is the Crow. And Domska is significantly behind. It does appear that Randers has seriously slowed Domska down, which it's his right to do, and Domska has not gained anything. On the same token, the Crow is currently being slowed down significantly by Statue, but he's about to pass him. So that is a very temporary setback for him in terms of total pace across the whole race. He takes back P2. Effectively, that's still P1 because Marcus still needs to stop and Statue also still needs to stop. And the best thing Marcus can do for Domska, it looks very jarring, but I think that's just a little bit of netcode. Best thing Marcus can do for Domska is just stay ahead and don't pit. I don't think he's going. I think he's going to pit. Lap 20 is a very nice time to pit. Marcus is, of course, on for a very good result himself, so he doesn't want to gamble on anything. Goes into the pits. What I do notice is he's 2 laps later than, for example, Randers. Was it Randers? Dustin, I think. So how much has Dustin gained? Where's Marcus? Marcus is driving out. So Dustin is... Oh, that's not Dustin. Dustin is going through turn 1. And he emerges ahead of Marcus. And the gap is pretty big. The gap is shockingly big, in fact. That is Dustin, a very legitimate P3. That is where he was. He's actually recalculating it. He actually hasn't gained that much. I think we'll be slightly disappointed with that undercut, but it is still a very good undercut. He did secure that nobody is going to undercut him. He is still in P3. Marcus in P4 is exactly where he was. Statue in P5 is not where he was. He's actually gained to Randers. Has Statue been? I think he has. I wish I could check, but I think he has. Everything else does make sense. Randers has lost a little bit of time. Cavalo in P8 is still where he started, but I still think he's a little bit disappointed with that. He does have Cavalo ahead of him, so he's got someone to overtake if he wants to. If he's able to do so. Further back, the biggest news is that Mercury is in P11, was P10 earlier. Maserati's promoted to P10. JJ currently in last place. Cavalo himself is looking at Randers. I think Randers has made a significant mistake. Maybe his tires are cooked a little bit as a result. So Marcus VR's time doing something weird, but it appeared to be a temporary glitch. Cavalo's looking ahead, but so is Sorrow, and that's Cavalo's gearbox is looking at. That is a fight brewing. Not a fight brewing, is Statue getting closer to Marcus VR. Statue not having the best start of this race. It's qualifying, he simply finished his lap too early. He didn't get the best of the track like other drivers. Had to make up from quite far behind. But with the quality of the drivers that we have, it does mean that some people are just going to drive away from you and you're never going to touch them. Marcus VR is still in the reach of Statue, but it appears, or maybe Dustin is still on, because Dustin did stop very, very early. There was Dustin that stopped very early. One person stopped very early. I think it was Dustin. 2 laps before everyone else. At the end of the race, that might mean that Dustin's tires are going to fall off a cliff. Technical term, falling off the cliff. I.e., at the end of your tire's lifespan, it will very slowly start to go worse, very slowly. And at the end of the lifespan, it drops like a brick. You're losing like a second a lap, and then 2 seconds, and then 3 seconds, and then it's not drivable anymore. And then it breaks, you know, to make things even worse. That might be what Dustin encounters at the end. Everybody's been pretty good about getting their stops exactly at the same time, but he's 2 laps early. Does that matter? Well, we'll find out by the end of the race. We're quite a ways from there for now. Marcus is still defending against Statue, and as long as Statue hasn't passed Marcus, he cannot think about Dustin yet. There's no point. Well, there is a point in that maybe you don't fight with Marcus if Marcus is able to gain to Dustin. I think the Statue wants to do this on his own. Clear Marcus and then move forwards, try and take that podium away from Dustin. That will be the plan. Step 1 of this plan we might be seeing here on the inside of Marcus VR through Stowe. Is that gonna be? Yes, that is going to be a clean move. The hanger straight through Stowe Corner and Interville. He is ahead. Marcus settling for 5th so far. But I think he'll be happy with that. Currently got 13 points behind his name. But I say happy. Maybe he thinks he can get more. But the quality of the top 4 drivers, and even including Randers in that as well, and Marcus is proving it as well. Even if he has a little bit of lag here and there. Quality of the top 6 drivers is so good. So being up here alone is definitely something to write home about. I do see that Marcus is keeping touch with the Statue here. I'm also seeing that Sorrow is getting... he's still looking at Cavalo. I think it's roughly the image we saw earlier. Kind of the distance. This distance is much shorter. But you would expect that to grow, right? Well, thing is, Marcus is still within a second. And his rear wing is open. He's got DRS. He's going to catch up quite a bit because DRS is very strong. What is going on? Domske is in the pits again? What is the plan here? Domska, why are you in the pits again? Are there fuel issues? Was he trying to resolve it? Because that's not going to work. Or is he trying to do something else with the tires? Does he recognize the Crow is faster than me? Maybe he has faster tires. I need to change up my tactic and go for softs perhaps and try to hot lap myself into the lead. Well, unfortunately for Domska, he's got Marcus VR to deal with and Statue as well. And the two very, very strong drivers. As I said, if you're in the top 6... Oh, there's contact! Domska gets hit by Marcus. He gets knocked off. I think there is limited damage there. He's on the inside then before cops, and I think Marcus is going to let that go, recognizing his mistake from earlier. There Domska goes. He's got his own race to fight, and it's against a man who is left alone to his own devices. Going to try to win this race and extend his lead in the championship. And Domska pitting is super interesting, but I don't think it's going to work for two reasons. One of them is named Dustin, who absolutely, in this beautifully, specially liveried Red Bull car. Yeah, have a look at that. That is the Red Bull livery that they had during the race in 2012 in Silverstone. Second reason is the one he has to contend with much earlier. Statue wants this podium. Statue is not going to let it go if you ask kindly. You're going to have to make him give it up. I think that's much easier said than done. Even if Domska thinks he is... Oh, I say that. A little mistake from Statue there. He's still going to have a decent exit, so still going to be kind of difficult for Domska, maybe. He does have a lot of speed. Oh, that car is fast. But look at the defensive move there from Statue. Domska has to go around the outside. He doesn't make that happen. Love field then around the outside is very, very tough. He's going to give it a shot. Statue is defending very strongly against this, but I don't think it's strong enough. Domska is on the inside there. 4 cops. If he is ahead, Statue has no choice but to let him go, and he does. That's Domska back into P3 and no podium for Statue as it stands. And his next target, Dustin, is going to give a similar fight and maybe even harder. But there is, of course, a little wrinkle here, a little detail that Dustin did stop early and his tires will be worse off. I think we've also reached the stage where Sorrow is within a second of Cavalo and is going to get DRS in a moment. I'm going to verify this. See if the reports are accurate, and they are. Sorrow has DRS, has opened up his rear wing. He's gonna close in, and it's going to be a fight. Domska is pushing. He is faster than the Crow over a lap for sure right now. I don't think there's a chance in hell that he's going to catch up to the Crow. He's going to give it his best shot for sure. He has taken a massive risk though. I'm not so sure he's going to get to overtake Dustin so easily. We're gonna have to ask this in the post-race interview. Was this a mistake, a miscalculation from Domska, or was there a reason he did this? Did he maybe stop for softs and did his tires simply go too hard? Did he make a lockup? Because lockups in this game massively degrade your tires. It is, your tires will be fine, you lock up once, your tires are gone. That's possible. Did that happen? Well, I have to ask him after the race. Because I don't believe that this was calculated. They have to catch up all the way to Dustin. And just hope that you can overtake. Overtaking is definitely a thing here. Sorrow looking at the back of Cavalo is very, very fast on the straight. Around the outside then for Stowe. He's already ahead. And Sorrow moves up to P7. Couple more points behind his name. We'll be very happy with that. Oh, but Cavalo, has a look. That is not a move that you can make. Oh, but that is a switchback and a half. Cavalo's back ahead. Michael is in the pits again. I think he is simply going for fastest lap. Fast lap is, of course, a point. Oh, that's why Domska is. Oh, Domska is ahead of Dustin, by the way. That happened around the same time that those two are fighting. In fact, they are still fighting. Sorrow is past Cavalo. And he's, I think, holding on this time. Unless Cavalo pulls something crazy into Stowe. Oh, sorry, Cops. Very important corner, very famous corner names. They're very different corners though. Ferguson's for the drivers. Dustin, I think he has fully resigned that position. I think there's much he can do to come back there. Sorrow still ahead of Cavalo, but Cavalo I don't think has resigned. He's going to get the RS, he's going to try and catch up and re-overtake. Looking around the outside, is it going to be... Oh, that is very, very well defended by Sorrow there. Leaving exactly a car's width, but not much more. And using his car as a physical object to parry the attack. Wood struggling to get on a good exit there. In the slipstream, trying to catch up, but it's not enough for now. But maybe here inside, not a move there. Gonna have to keep trying. So finally makes it ahead, but staying ahead is a much different thing. Cavalo moves on the inside of Brooklands. But Sorrow keeps his car there, and that means he is on the inside for Lovefield. He stays ahead. To join Cavalo on this chase. See through Mackett and Beckett's. Wondering to see if he catches up there. I think Sorrow has a much stronger line through there, and he gets to decide it with full control of his car because he doesn't have to deal with dirty air. Cavalo has DRS, he opens up, he moves forwards, he gets closer. Look at the difference in speed. There's not enough. Gap was simply too big, and you can see how much he backed out. Last thing he wants is a crash. And in Stowe, if you do a half-assed move, there's a decent chance for a crash. Sides against that. Statue is moving forwards, overtaking a lapped car, I believe. It'll be Mercury in the Sauber, still in 11 points. Mercury still in 11th place, still has 2 points behind his name as things stand. Statue is looking at Dustin. The gap is still substantial though. This gap is not substantial. These two are very close together. The hangar straight. This is the #1 overtaking opportunity around the outside. Then sorry, that was not the hangar straight. That was the other straight. Inside of Brooklands. That is never a guarantee. Although this time he does seem to have it. And Sorrow behind. These two are going to keep fighting until the end of the race. It's going to be a little bit of a problem because at some point we're going to have to switch to the Crow, who is seemingly winning this race without any contention. Oh, Maserati made a mistake. Oh, he made a big mistake. He's in the wall. Is he able to still move out of there? Hopefully he's not stopped entirely and we don't get a what do you call it? Don't get a safety car. See Sorrow there. Oh, and it's a retirement. Unfortunately, Maserati doesn't make it to the end of the race. It's 12th place for him in the end. Now on the outside, Sorrow goes as we mourn the loss of Maserati. On the inside still for the next chicane. Oh, but Cavalo's pushing it. He wants to stay ahead. These two are not letting each other get away with anything. And they're gonna keep fighting. Where is the Crow physically on the track? Because he has absolutely put in the work. He's on the far end, moving on the old pit straight. Domska is simply too far behind. I don't know what the gamble was. The Statue has overtaken Dustin. Statue is on the podium. Sorrow is behind Cavalo. We're gonna try and make another move as the Crow makes its way through Maggots and Beckett's. Everything happening all at the same time. we'll have a look at them. Sorrow behind now. Cavalo ahead. The Crow through the last few corners. Makes it through So. One last time through Vale. The Crow with a beautiful race today. Very well played. I'm not sure what happened with Domska at the end there, but the Crow deserves this. He is the winner today and remains the championship leader. Quickly we go back to whatever this fight is. Sorrow will have a chance to overtake, but he needs a lot of speed. He does have a very good exit. That's already a lot of speed. He's going to Game Boy. He's got DRS. He is so much faster than Cavalo. Cavalo's going to try to hold on. Round the outside, Sorrow goes. Cavalo, where is he? He is behind. That is Sorrow ahead. He's going to give it one last try. He thinks better of it. That would be a long distance to make that move. Oh, but there is a collision. There is a collision. Cavalo, I think, wanted to go too fast too early, but Sorrow takes that win. Cavalo's not going to take that away from him. That's a very, very strong race between those two. We've got Domska in second then. Statue takes third position away from Dustin, who doesn't finish on the podium today, fortunately, but very good race from him regardless. We've got Marcus in P5 ahead of Randers. I think he will be ecstatic with that. In fact, is he? I think he is just... He's just continue driving, which you're allowed to do. He's just enjoying it too much, and I'm really happy to see that. Cavalo P8. We've got Michael in P9. Mercury first outing in P10. That is 3 points behind his name. And JJ comes home, takes 2 points. And 1 point for Maserati, of course. He didn't finish, but he did end up P12. Fastest lap of the race, then. We quickly have to check. We've got a couple of 31s, and this one is the fastest. Domska takes the fastest lap of the race. And yeah, that's that. All right, let's quickly switch to our post-race procedure. So I have to save the replay before I don't get into trouble, but I think it's always good to do that. Oh, somebody had an engine blow up and was out as a result. I can't tell who it was, but it's very unfortunate. We're going to arrange some drivers for the interviews. And I'm going to show you the race results. Of course, to remind you, the Crow is the winner of the race with Domska in second place. I think it says 12 points on the stream. I haven't fixed that yet. It doesn't show the fast lap point, but Domska does get a point for fast lap. So he's got 13 points today behind his name. We've got Statue P3, it takes home 10 points. Then Dustin, Marcus, Randers, Sorrow, Cavalo, Michael, and Mercury, as we have shown before. But also to remind you of the DNS we had. JJ did finish, gets 2 points, and then Maserati, by being a reserve driver for Mercedes today. Very strong race from him in places, but in the end, crashed out. 12th place for him, 1 point. We've got Domi, who also had a crash. Blester, I'm not exactly sure what happened to him. Gerald, who had a disconnect. PC Finch and Silver, I think, had early issues and retired the car early. Then, exciting driver standings. The Crow ahead with 40 points. Mighty race from him today, and that puts him 4 points ahead of his rival teammate. 36 points for Domska, who is 11 points ahead of Statue, who is in P3. Brandis in P4, 22 points for him. Then Marcus VR, 21 points in P5. I think he will be very happy to see that. 1 point ahead of Dustin, P6. 1 point ahead of Sorrow, P7. Then 1 point ahead of Gerald Schmidt. The whole trail from 4th to 8th place even, where everybody's 1 point ahead of the next. That's brilliant. Michael's only 2 points behind Gerald, because let's keep it close. And then Cavalo is a little bit further behind, but he is in P10 as it stands. JJ got 6 points, is in P11. Then we've got Jordi with 4 points. Silver and Mercury have 3 points, but Silver has a better finish, so he's in 13th. Then we've got Domi in P15. Maserati and PC Finch have the same results behind the name, so they're tied in 16th place. And we've got a couple of people that haven't scored a point yet, but either have joined the race or are a driver. I think Ben Summers unfortunately isn't joining anymore, so should be on the list. We'll fix that for next time. Team standings, very important. Lotus F1 team has 76 points, dominantly ahead of Red Bull Racing. 38 points they have, 1 point ahead of Ferrari and Toro Rosso. Those two teams are tied on points. Then we've got Williams with 25, HRT with 19, Force India then with 6, Mercedes 5, Sauber 4, and McLaren Mercedes has 2 points. Now, if you have been enjoying this, do not go anywhere yet, because my favorite part, well, the race, honestly, is very, very good. I love talking to the drivers after the race. So we're going to hear from them, and I'm going to set up interviews, so don't go anywhere. All right. We already have a lot of people ready for their interview, so let's get that started. We will, of course, start with whoever finished highest and is available. And the winner of the race is very much willing to have an interview. We'll start with him. Hello, Domska.
Dikra won the race.
Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah, no, that's correct. Go back to the audience, you. Slight goof by the commentator, so that's my fault. All right, Dikra.
Okay.
I couldn't believe that you won the race. You finally did it. You're now not only the championship leader, which you already were after last race, but you've now actually won a race this season. How do you feel?
Yeah, it's quite a load off my shoulders, to be honest, because I was so close the first two races. I think the first race I was 4/10 behind the win, and the second race I was 5/10 behind the win, and I lost the win at the last corner. And now it finally worked out, and I haven't won a lot of races in this league, actually. This was only my second win overall in my entire career. So I'm very, very happy that I got this race together, and I feel it was one of the best races I've driven. I think that was, that was pretty much perfect, except for the last stint, but I didn't really need to push there. So I'm very, very happy with how this went.
Yeah, it looked like a very solid win. Not quite dominant, because you did, especially in your second stint, have a lot of fighting with your teammate. Talk me through that. How was that for you?
Yeah, on this track, and I think that's going to be the case for the entire season, it's very hard to break the DRS if someone is in the DRS. So I knew I had to get away from him in the first 3 laps, and if I didn't manage to do that, which I didn't, then he would stay very, very close until he made a mistake and lost the DRS, and that was what happened. At first, I think I got the laps together to keep him at 3 to 4 tenths distance, but I didn't always manage that. And I then decided to go for the tire advantage in the second stint, which was why I was behind him. And I knew I would have to fight through, which was also precisely what happened. And then just hope he made a tiny little error and then lean on the tire advantage. So I was pretty nervous, especially when we went side by side through the S's. That was pretty much the most edge case you can have at Silverstone, to go side by side through there. But it all worked out. It was a very, very fair fight, very fun fight. I think we were both very intent on not crashing with each other and not ruining the team championship again. So that was great fun. And then I think he made a tiny little error in the last corner. And that was when I got 1.0 seconds and broke the DRS. And that proved to be enough to then go for a little gap that I was able to maintain.
Very good. It was very entertaining to watch as well. So definitely watch that back if you have the time. And loads
I
of fun.
will watch that back.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. That was a very exciting race, I think, for everyone. So now you've won a race. You are the championship leader. You've maintained that lead. And you've extended it a little bit. Are you the favorite for the championship?
I think I'm probably one of two favorites for the championship, simply because of the way the points are at the moment. I think that Domschka and me have a little bit of a gap towards the person in third. I'm not entirely sure, but I think that should be the case, because there wasn't a consistent P3, P2, P1 finisher apart from us. So I think it looks like Team Lotus has one finger on the Drivers' Championship too, but whose finger it's gonna be, I think there are no favorites between us. Silverstone is, I think, personally my favorite track on the calendar. It's also probably the track that I'm best at. So there are going to be much more difficult tracks for me. I'm very scared of Monza, and I'm also not quite confident that I will be better than Domschka on, for example, Hockenheim or Interlagos. So it's, I think, completely equal on who will win, on who is the favorite to win this. But because of the gap, probably us two are the ones you have to talk mainly about. But that can, of course, change. And we saw in the last season how quickly someone else can catch up. So let's not rule out the others.
Yeah, it's absolutely true, and a very good advertisement for the rest of the season, because I do think we have a very exciting season ahead. You are currently ahead, but anything can happen. And yeah, thank you so much for the short interview. I will move on to the man I just accidentally bullied for not winning the race. Hello, Domska.
Hello, Findict.
You didn't win the race, I just found out. How was the race for you?
Intense, especially the first stint. The first and the second stint were very intense. We had a nice battle. I tried to not crash into him. That was the main focus, to not crash into each other. So for the Constructors Championship. And yeah, after that, in the last stint, I knew that he's a little bit faster than me. I knew that I would not be able to catch him, and then I tried to get at least the fastest lap to minimize the points that I lost, that I will lose here. And I managed to do that. So I had the most, the minimal loss that you can have, and that's okay.
Yeah, that's true. I did notice you stopped, and you did have a couple of drivers ahead of you that I don't think were too happy to let you go, and that maybe saw an opportunity to keep you behind, even if it would be tough. Were you worried at all that you wouldn't be able to overtake them in time?
I was a little bit worried about Dustin, but I think he had a little bit of older tires, and I don't know if he had mediums or soft, but I was a little bit worried about him. But then I saw that I catch up to him, and then I passed him, so that was my main concern. But yeah, it was okay in the end, I think.
Yeah, you made it in the end, and you only lost 2 points to your biggest rival for the championship. Then still got good chances to win. You still have a very good hope for it. The next few races, do you think he can catch up?
I'm very excited for Hockenheim. I like this track, and I think I'm good there. But we will see. You never know in this league, and especially Dikra, he's very close, or we are very close to each other, and you can't predict the winner for every race, I think. Especially as I said yesterday in the interviews, these cars are so punishing. If you make a tiny error, it can have such big consequences, and you need to be focused all the time, every lap in the race. And I think champion in the end will be the one that makes the less mistakes. And until now, it is Dikra that didn't make a big mistake. I made the mistake in Barcelona. So we will see how it pans out.
Yes, it will be very interesting to watch. I'm very excited for the next race already, which is in 2 weeks. So yeah, also something for you to prepare for. Thank you so much for the interview. We'll move swiftly on. Got a lot of people I want to be interviewed. So the next person in the queue should be Statue. Statue is available.
Oh, I didn't realize I had to actually click on Discord to accept the microphone.
Yes, you do have to accept it. I can't pull you in, and because then everybody would hear your mic, and that wouldn't be pleasant. Because if you're not ready,
I'm on push to talk anyway. So.
Okay, well, perfect. Yeah, you finished P3 today, and that was not free at all. Your qualifying, let's start there, maybe didn't go as planned.
Yeah, I guess I messed up the race at Barcelona. I messed up the qualifying and the race in Canada. Then I messed up just qualifying today. So I guess the lesson is that if you want to mess something up, it's the qualifying, at least at Silverstone, because that was my best result so far. Yeah, I just simply went up too early. I thought the track would dry out a bit faster, so I wanted to prioritize having actually clean air and not having to deal with tons of people trying to all go for the track at the very end. Um, but I still went too early. Like when I looked at my sectors once everyone's finished, my sectors 2 and 3 were basically on par with Dikra, who got third in the sorry second, and it was only 3 tenths of pole. But my first sector was 7 tenths off, so that was the 20 to 30 seconds of the track still not being where it should have been for me, and that cost me tons of positions. Uh, yeah, then the race was a bit of an uphill battle after that, but it went okay. I must say, I'm happy to end with a podium finally.
Yeah, when you after qualifying, when you started the race, where did you think you would finish? Did you think a podium was possible?
Maybe optimistically, it was difficult to gauge race pace because like usually in practice people start off by setting some full fuel laps so you can get like a rough idea of where everyone's on race pace. But because here practice was effectively a simulation for qualifying first because of the drying track, then many people went for uh, low fuel runs at the start on softs because the track was drying, which was going to be the same situation as in quali. So it wasn't that representative. I didn't really think actively over where I want to finish. I just was thinking about making up places because I knew that people who were starting behind me I should be able to keep behind, so I could only look ahead if I wanted to get a good result. That was the mindset after qualifying.
Very well. Next track then, I believe we're doing the was it Hockenheim?
I think so.
Yeah. Are you excited for Hockenheim?
Uh, I don't know. Like based on I did one race there in Formula Cars, and it wasn't the newest ones, which I think they have slightly less of a DRS effect, but it was a DRS fest where it was super difficult to break away from DRS. So we could see something similar here because there's like only what 4 corners I think that can really be problematic in dirty air, and at the straights with DRS are really long. I don't think it's not my favorite track, but I think I'm generally decently quick there. It's like one of these tracks that I don't enjoy driving much, but I'm actually decent pace wise. So I want to note though I'm really intrigued by the fact that Decra is not looking forward to Monza. Uh, I'm looking for a chance there against him if that's the case.
So there's opportunities for you in the future to, yeah, maybe fight for some wins, maybe even win some races and fight yourself back into the championship. Do you still hope you can win the championship?
Well, I'm not like actively thinking of myself as in the championship battle, but I think with at least getting a podium today, I'm still staying somewhat close enough to maybe capitalize. If the top two have some incidents like we saw, if the second half of the season goes as it did last season, I think if I can like get a decent result, so like maybe a podium again at Hockenheim, I'm going to be basically in a similar position to where Gary was. And Gary still almost won the championship last season. So I wouldn't say it's impossible, but I'm not actively thinking of fighting for the championship of every race because I'm not in that position currently, but I could get there if things go in the right direction for me.
Yeah, you're essentially in the Max Verstappen position in real life right now. But
Yeah, my Verstappen
that is a
position
longer
season.
shot, I would say. But yeah. All right. Yeah, thank you so much for the interview, and yeah, hopefully
Thank
next
you.
race have another good one. Next, we move on to the person who finished in P4. His name is Dustin. Hello.
Hello, hello.
How was that race? I could guess how you feel about it, but I just want you to tell me.
Um, Actually, I was more upset in Montreal than I'm now. Because, yeah, my strategy wasn't exactly the best, but let's start with qualification. I almost got pole, and I was only half a tenth off in sector 1 and 2. And then I lost almost 7 tenths in the last sector because I got it right. And that's where I lost pole position. But then I thought, okay, let's do another race start like last time. But then I completely slept on the race start. Still got one position. Um, initially my thought was, okay, drive on softs at the restart, but just before the race, I thought, okay, maybe mediums might be better. So I started on mediums, and then after the first stop, I gone on softs, and that was really good. I was gaining on Digra, and I thought, okay, now starts my race. I can get somewhere from now. But then around lap 18 to 19, I thought, okay, I have to pit now, otherwise I may spun next lap. Um, yeah, then I pitted to mediums again, even though I wanted to originally drive on softs. But my tires were so toast at the end, and I also had a huge lag 1 or 2 laps before Domschka overtook me. So I lost a second there, and this second could have been very crucial in hindsight. So yeah, my tires were completely gone at the end. I wanted to overtake Statue at the back straight again, but the tire effect was so strong, and this did the air effect also. So yeah, nothing I could have done in the last lap.
Yeah, that's sounds like more of a series of unfortunate events today. But you still had a very good first half of the race at least, fighting for that podium. Didn't get it in the end, but it's definitely something to be hopeful about, right?
Yes, definitely. The thing is, I think most of the race I was maybe as fast. Well, first and second stint, I was as fast as the Lotus boys, and I was as fast as them in Montreal until this little incident happened. But the last stint was slow from my side, so I was definitely slower there. But for most of the race, I was kind of leveled up, so I know I have to take this momentum and be also as fast at Hockenheim and to try to be even faster with maybe a better strategy than today. And also at Hockenheim, I think all of us Germans want to win this race. So extra pressure for everyone.
Yeah, it should be a very interesting race. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Yeah, definitely something you would want to win. Currently in the standings after this race, you have 20 points behind your name, half the points of Dikra, who's currently in first. Uh, Championship hopes. Are you still thinking about that, or just taking it race to race, and you'll see where the chips land?
I think it's the same as it's been said before with Statue, kind of a stubborn thing. It can always happen. And of course, I want to win it, but I'm not thinking about this right now. I want to win races. Um, and then when I win races, I will think of more. But first, I need to win races. And I think I'm very strong. I'm stronger than last season for sure, because for the last 2 races, I had a lot of time to prepare good setups. And my car in Montreal and today was basically on rails. And I need that. And I didn't have that last season. And I think I have a good base setup now. And I can only improve from there.
All right, very good. Then, yeah, you remain one to watch, and hopefully you can win some races this season. Then, yeah, thank you so much for the interview. I will move on. We still have like 4 to go. So I think the next one, we don't have Marcus Fiat, but we do have the man who finished behind him. Very interested to hear from Randus, who finished in P6, and there he is. Hello, how are you doing? How was the race for you?
Hi, Finnick. Pretty interesting race. Quali was okay. Very much where I expected to be with the wet conditions. I kind of slept at the race start. Really didn't react to the green light, so I was surprised that I could keep P3 somehow those corners. But then very early in the early stages of the race, I realized that I could keep up with the guys in front. So I was looking behind to Dustin and Marcus, who were really quick. And I think we really had a decent battle. Multiple corners side by side. A lot of DRS overtakes between us three. It was very difficult to break away. The DRS that strong again. some stages even advantage to be behind the other guy because of the DRS effect. Then Dustin somehow managed to build a gap. I think he had soft tires on the second stint. So I was fighting with Marcus alone, and then we touched. But I think it was a racing incident. He had a bit of a netcode issue, it seems, and even without netcode, I could have left him a bit more space. Side, very difficult corner to side there.
Yeah.
Then I was fighting with Statue, and I realized suddenly by looking at my car status, what is it called? Like at the hut, where the tires and the engine temperature.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you
when
mean.
looking at-
Yeah.
When looking at the indication there, I realized I had 44% of engine damage in lap 16. I didn't know how that happened, but it was there, so I had to slow down
All
the
right.
car home.
So in the
That's
end,
why
it became a little bit of engine management. Yeah, for people that for the viewers that don't fully understand what that's about, the game has in the heads-up display, it shows a little graphic that shows the state of your car. I think it shows brake temperatures, it shows how tires are doing, and it shows other parts of your car that might be damaged, such as the front wing, the rear wing, suspension, and the engine. Engine damage can happen if your revs are too high or your temperature is too high, but often that's very hard. You can't do anything with that during the race normally. You just gotta take it a little bit easy with the downshifts, for example. So, but yeah, it's very stressful if you suddenly realize, oh, that's 44%, and I need to take it a little bit slow. Yeah, but in the end, you had some very good fights. Those were all captured, and we're very happy to see you enjoyed them. But sixth place, I'm thinking after winning the first race, that's not really where you want to be.
honestly, after winning the first race, I didn't expect to hit that easily. So I didn't expect to win, but I expected a bit more than. And I think I had the pace to 3 today. A lot of drivers had the pace to read Statue, Dustin, Marcus, and I were kind of same level, I think. So a bit disappointed, but still okay. Still some points. I'm honestly happy I brought the car home after having that much damage.
Yeah, that's true. P6 is of course much better than DNFing, so saved a decent amount of points there. Next race in Hockenheim. Excited for it?
Definitely home race, always special, and I think it's a track where I can have a good. So see, feel this always.
It's a very close field, so that makes it very exciting to watch. So hopefully, it'll be a great show. Thank you so much for the interview, Randers, and good luck preparing for the next race in 2 weeks.
Thanks.
I interrupted his goodbyes, unfortunately. Next, then, the person who finished behind Randers, I think a little bit of distance between them. We do have Sorrow ready for an interview. Hello. How are you doing after that?
Hello. Slightly disappointed, but I'm fine.
I'm glad to hear you're fine. You did have a very interesting battle with Cavallo that in the end you won. Talk me through that real quick. How was that?
Well, maybe I'm gonna start off by qualifying because that's what set up that battle. Basically, I made the exact same mistake as Saku, and I basically wanted to avoid the traffic at the end, so I went a bit early, and that ended up costing me a lot of lap time. So I started P8, and then during the first 6 laps, I just got stuck behind Kapolor. I completely could not overtake him due to the dirty air, and also he was very fast on the straights, even despite the fact that I had DRS. And then I finally managed to overtake him. Then I had a very calm second stint, and for the final stint, I was like, okay, if I want to catch the guys ahead, like I need to have a tire advantage. So I went I put it 2 laps later than Capelor, and I didn't mind him undercutting me because I thought, okay, with fresher tires, I'm just gonna easily get by him. But that ended up not being the case, unfortunately. So we ended up having another battle, and yeah, it was really exciting because I had the tire advantage. I felt like I sort of led that battle. I sort of set it up, and yeah, I made it on purpose to let Capello lead onto the final DRS straight because I knew I was gonna get past him.
Yeah, very good, very strategical. You managed to win that fight. You couldn't get rid of Capelor at all today in the race. Then that is quite funny. After 31 laps, you're fighting with the exact same person that you were at the start. What if your qualifying gone better? Where do you think you would have ended up?
I feel like I definitely would have at least fought for the top 5. That during that second stint, Capello was like 2-3 seconds behind me, and I was looking at the gaps, and I was barely slower than the guys in like P3, P5. I definitely had a similar pace to them, and I feel like if I didn't mess up qualifying, I definitely could have been in the top 5.
Top 5 in this race was essentially top 3, so maybe could have maybe been a podium, but yeah, qualifying, especially with this race where there's no crazy incidents where the gaps disappear, qualifying can be very determinative, especially such a tough qualifying with the race. Unfortunately, to lose it there. Next race in Germany, how do you feel? It's not your home race; it's half the grid's home race, but not for you. Are you going to take away somebody's dream home win?
Oh, well, coming from Poland, I feel like Germany is the next closest thing I have to a home race in this championship. To be honest, I haven't really driven that much around Hockenheim AMS2. I have driven a lot around the old Hockenheim, but that's pretty much an oval with some chicanes. So I don't really know how I will fare around the modern version of this circuit. We'll see. I expect something similar to today.
All right, and hopefully, if your qualifying goes a little bit better, we're fighting for those podium positions, maybe even more. Thank you so much for the interview. I'll move swiftly on. Yeah, we got one more to go. It was somebody who DNF'd today, unfortunately, but I'm still excited to hear from how it went because the race for him was actually quite interesting and quite good. Hello, Maserati. How are you doing?
Hello. Uh, obviously, massively disappointed.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean it's the same story as always. I'm lacking just 2 to 3 seconds per lap, but I'm managing these to at least be consistent every lap in my lap times. But same story as always. And yeah, I mean a potential P8 would have been on a table, I think. But would I have been more aggressive at the start? Because I don't know, I haven't counted, but I think I've made up 9 or 10 places at the start. Then obviously got overtaken by, I don't know who it was, Michael, I think, and then tried to undercut him. Lost everything at the pits because I don't know if it was a bug, but my car got repaired even though I turned it off. And after that, I was in a, I don't know, in a P10, and yeah, at the end, one of the leaders passed me. I had DRS. I opened it, and my car just flipped over, and that was it. So yeah, mega disappointing because points were there, and I just didn't use that opportunity.
Yeah, unfortunately, this car can be very tricky if, especially with
Yep.
DRS open. Even without DRS open, it's apparently a bit of a diva.
I don't know if you saw it, but I actually had a spin at the end of my first stint because my rear tires were completely gone, and I don't know how I didn't lose anything by that. I stayed exactly at the same point I was. So I think if that didn't happen, a P9 would have been there anyways because that leader that passed me, that lapped me, wouldn't have passed me in first place if it wasn't for the spin. But I mean, I'm not sure what exactly. I mean, I don't know what was in your broadcast, but for the first stint, I was defending and defending like the whole time, from P9.
Mhm.
I don't know if you saw that.
Well, a lot of things happened in the first stint, so
Okay.
it's a very good chance I missed it. But
Yeah,
so
I've heard
that's
it.
why we do these interviews, right? You can't cast everything.
Yeah.
So that's what happened
I
to
was
you,
defending
Race.
the whole time. That's I think why that rear tire was gone, because at every traction zone you have to be on it, because obviously a car behind you with DRS is gonna pass otherwise. And obviously then using defensive lines every lap and using that front tire then even more, because obviously you have to do more turning, then didn't help for sure. And yeah, it is the same story as always, I think. Just a mix of my own mistakes, a mix of game bugs, a mix of me having no practice at all. Like I've done that for the first time now, this track and this car in combination, and no setup, no practice before. So I mean, a P10 would have been fine, but I bottled it at, I think, 3 laps to the end. So
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but you still got a point out of it. So because P12 is a point, so that's something to
actually,
take
did I get a point?
out. Oh, yeah,
Even though
you got a point, and I do think it was because you did have a pretty good race before that. But you're
it
not.
was fine, yeah.
Yeah, you're not. I think signed up as a permanent driver. I think you're a reserve
No.
driver. Am I right?
Yeah, actually, that's the first time I've driven this season.
Yes.
Haven't done that before this season's.
Yeah, it's
Just
got-
simply I lack time, and
Yeah, will you be there for any future races?
I mean Hockenheim. As you might know, I still have something open with Hockenheim. As last time we went there, the game destroyed my potential P6.
I do think I remember that.
I hope. Yeah, so I hope that I can drive there and make up for that. But yeah, I mean it, and as long as I manage to keep that together, and as long as I get behind these, I mean, I should be able to predict these bugs the game still has, like pit stops bugs, and knowing that the car might get repaired even though I don't have any damage and I turn it off and things like that. If I get rid of all these things, I think results could come their way. But you know, coulda, shoulda, woulda. It is what it is, and at the end, it's me on me.
Yeah, well, in the end, yes, it's whatever happens on the track with you behind the wheel. Somewhat irresponsible, but it's in a game that is not perfect in any way. Sometimes just left
It is
to
only the multiplayer. Single player is fine.
True.
I don't know what's happening as soon as you get into multiplayer, these bugs occur, and it is really, annoying.
Yeah. I share the sentiment, but we did have a very good race. You had a pretty good race until the incident, and so definitely encouraging for you, and hopefully you'll be able to join
For
in 2
the
weeks.
future in SSR.
Yes, and you'll have a good result there. Thank you so much for the interview.
Yes, goodbye, and thanks for interviewing me.
No worries. And that is it for all the interviews and also for the stream. So before we leave, let me remind you to remove that and we go back to the calendar. This was the British Grand Prix. In 2 weeks, we'll go to Germany, the Hockenheim Ring. The race will be half an hour earlier. Reason being is that we're avoiding overlap with another F1 race that's going on that same weekend. Belgian Grand Prix, same story, but that's a week later. So, hopefully I will see you in 2 weeks when we go to Germany with all of these drivers. Should be super exciting. Don't forget to follow if you want a notification of when this is live. If you're watching this on YouTube and you want to watch the VODs right when they come out, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.